Hi folks, I'm Craig Taylor, and as always a huge thanks for joining me here on my YouTube channel, the Bushcraft Padawan. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I am very open and frank about the fact that I am a newcomer, a newbie, a novice in this area of bushcraft. And that's why most of my videos are very much about me learning things and sharing what I'm learning along the way on this channel. There are a few subjects though where I do have more experience, more time served, due to the fact that in a previous life I was a soldier in the British Army. Navigation is one of them, and the other area that I've got a lot of experience and time served in is carrying kit on my back over distances, just the right amount of kit, not carrying too much, not carrying too little, but just being able to carry the kit for a long time that I needed to do the job. That's why when I look online sometimes and I look at the pictures that people are posting of their kit before they go out for an overnighter, I can't help but think to myself, you seem to be carrying too much, you seem to be carrying a lot of kit. I can't help thinking to myself, that seems like a lot of kit for an overnighter. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm passing judgment, and clearly by making those comments in my head, I am passing judgment. I want to be really clear, this video is not a dig, it's not a pop at people who choose to carry a lot of kit for an overnighter. Each to their own. I'm sure that I do things and that I practice things that other people would frown upon. So I'm not having a go at people who take a lot of kit out for an overnighter. There may be some very valid and good reasons for doing that that don't come across in the photograph, so I'm not having a dig. What I am doing though is I'm putting together a video to show that it is possible to go out and live comfortably for a couple of days and a night without having to drag lots of kit with you, and that's the purpose of this video. I want to show you my lightweight, low bulk, overnight bushcraft kit. I will caveat that by saying this is the sort of kit that I would carry at this time of the year. This time of the year is mid-July here on the south coast of England in the UK. It is usually quite warm, it is usually quite dry. We will have the odd spell of rain, absolutely, although we haven't for several weeks, which is quite unnerving and unusual, but most of the time it is relatively dry and warm. If I were doing this at a different time of the year, I may not be carrying the same kit. I may well be carrying more kit, don't get me wrong. I also want to stress that when I talk about low weight, I'm not talking about ultra lightweight. Almost every piece of kit you're going to see in this video, there will be alternatives out there that are much, much, much lighter. So when I say lightweight, it's in relation to carrying loads of kit on an overnighter, as opposed to being ultra lightweight. So hopefully that comes across in the video. Right, I'll stop waffling. Let's have a look first at what I'm carrying in my pockets, which is pretty much standard whenever I go out, whether it's for an overnighter or not, whether it's in the winter or not. So let's have a look at that pocket kit first, then we'll get on to looking at what's in the pack. Let's have a look at these pocket contents then. So carrying on my belt, I have my Mora Garberg carbon steel blade. I have a Bahco folding laplander saw. Because I'm carrying a blade, I'm also carrying my DC4 sharpening stone. I actually prefer a different sharpening kit that I've talked about in a previous video. I'm linking to that in the top right hand corner of your screen. But in terms of size and bulk, I don't think you can beat the DC4 if you're just popping out for an overnighter and only anticipate lightly having to touch up your blade, if at all. Because I'm carrying cutting tools, I'm carrying a cuts kit, just a few different sized plasters in there. Then we move on to my notebook and pencil, compass, ferro rod and my mobile phone. Those are the pocket contents that I would carry at pretty much any time of the year, anywhere. If it were different weather conditions, if it was a different type of year, I'd probably be carrying a little more than this, perhaps some different items of kit, but for now this is my staple go-to list of pocket contents that I would carry with me. Let's have a look now at the actual daysack itself and the kit that I'm carrying on my back. Let's take a dive into the kit now. Before I do, the daysack, the pack itself It's made by a brand called Bushcraft that, if I'm perfectly honest, I've never heard of. I didn't actually buy this. I found it rolled up in a cam net in the back of a Land Rover back in about 1994. It was old and weathered then. 25-ish years later, it's still going strong. So I think there's a story there that you don't always have to go for big brand names for something that's going to last you and last you well. And trust me, this daysack, as a result of what I used to do for a living, has been through a hell of a lot. It's literally been thrown out of planes. So, good daysack. I've had some modifications put on the outside here. You can see 2 DPM pouches, some camouflage pouches that I've had sewn on onto the outside. I have no idea what the carrying capacity of this is. I would suspect, just looking at it and comparing it to, you know, more well-known daysacks, probably between 35 and 40 litre capacity, something in that region. But it's big enough. It has enough capacity for me to live out of. So let's have a look at what's inside it then. I'm just going to pop these straps. We're going to look in the pouches first. In one of the pouches, I have a DD 3x3 tarp. Let me just strip that out there to show you that it's all in there. Huge tarp goes into that pouch. All of the guy lines and ropes and tie out points are already attached to the tarp. If I needed to make any tent pegs, then I would fashion them whilst I'm out on the ground from what I can find laying about. In the other pouch, we have a water bottle, metal mug, and tucked away at the bottom of that pouch there is a brown bag, or a modern version of the Millbank bag. So all of that fits in the outside pockets here. Going up into the top pocket, I've got my fire starting kit there. I'm going to link to a video in the top right hand corner of your screen now for you to take a look at that a little closer if you wish. I've got some mosquito repellent. And I have a first aid kit that's a little more substantial than the cuts kit that I'm carrying. There's some more plasters in there, there are some gloves, there's some gauze, there are some wipes, there are some bandages. So something a little more substantial than what's in my pocket contents. Moving down into the main sack contents itself. I have another 1 litre water bottle there. I have an old sleeping bag stuff sack here, and inside that I carry my zebra billy can. Inside here I've got, in the lid, I've got some oil, I've got some spices, and inside the actual pot itself I've got some pasta. There's a cup of soup, powdered cup of soup pot in there, which I can make a sauce out of. I've also got some diced mushrooms, and I've also got an uncooked sausage that I would fry up in the insert, add it all together, and we've got pasta, mushrooms, sausage, with a chicken and mushroom sauce that I've made from the cup of soup. So all of that is carried in that zebra can there. And the reason I keep it in a stuff sack isn't to keep it dry or waterproof because it's metal, it's to keep the soot and the ash from the billy can getting over the rest of my kit. I'm also carrying a lunch and breakfast pouch. The food that I'm carrying in this day sack, in this example, would be enough for me to go out mid-morning one day, so after breakfast, before lunch, have my lunch out there, have my evening meal out there using the zebra billy can, have my breakfast out there using some oats that I have in here, and also have lunch again out there the following day. In this lunch pack I've got some oat cakes, I have some cereal bars, some cheese, some salmon paste, a few sweets and things in there. So I've got enough to keep me going for 2 lunches and a breakfast in there, and I have enough for my evening meal in the zebra billy can that I've just shown you. So I'm not going to go hungry. Also in here I've got a very small wash kit, some floss, some alcohol hand wipes, and also a toothpaste and toothbrush in that small wash kit there. Again, delving a little further into the sack, I've got a spare pair of socks and some foot powder. All of the stuff that I want to keep dry is inside this Ortlieb canoe bag daysack liner. Again, I've had this for, well, probably as long as I've had the daysack, the early 90s. It's always stood up to the test of time. It's an old reliable. Inside this I have a Rab Alpine Light bivvy bag. I have a Thermarest, I think it's a Neo Air or a Neo Light Air sleeping mat, inflatable sleeping mat. Have a very thin, lightweight shirt slash jumper slash lightweight jacket, very thin indeed. It's just enough from those summer evenings when the sun drops and you've stopped moving around. It's just enough to keep that chill off you if you're just wearing a t-shirt, or as I am, a long sleeved shirt underneath it. And then last but not least, I'm not going to drag this out completely because I'm not, but this is a lightweight jungle sleeping bag. I've used this in the UK and I must admit I didn't use it without a sleeping bag liner, and even on quite a warm evening I got quite cold. That's why I carry the silk sleeping bag liner as well. The silk sleeping bag liner takes up almost no weight, it can be compacted down very small, and it is just an extra layer inside this very thin, very lightweight jungle military issue sleeping bag, just in case I do get cold in that. I can slip inside that silk sleeping bag liner. If it was incredibly warm, if I knew it was going to be a mega warm night, I would probably ditch the sleeping bag liner before I set out. So there's nothing else in here other than probably a lot of crusty old leaves and crumbs, but that's the content, or those are the contents of my lightweight, low bulk, overnight bushcraft kit. Anticipating going out mid-morning, having lunch, evening meal, sleeping out that night, breakfast the next morning, lunch the next day, coming back in the afternoon or early evening the following day. Once again, stress, it's been warm here in the UK, so this is not meant to be for a winter expedition or a winter overnighter. This is meant to be when the nights are a little kinder to us, when the days are a little kinder to us, when there's less chance of low temperatures and wet weather. That's the kit that I would typically carry on an overnighter. There we have it, folks. There's the kit that I would carry with me, that I would consider to be my low bulk, lightweight, overnight bushcraft kit. I must stress again, if you carry more than that, that's okay, I'm not having a dig. If you carry less than that, that's okay, I'm not having a dig. If you carry different stuff to that, that's okay, I'm not having a dig. This isn't meant to be a poke at people that take more kit out for an overnighter. I just thought to myself, I'm seeing lots of images of people taking a lot of kit. Some of the online groups and communities I'm a member of, there are lots of newcomers to this, and I wanted to give an alternative viewpoint on the stuff that you may wish to take out overnight rather than the bigger, bulky stuff. But each to their own. Please don't slate me for making this video. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you think there's someone in your network that would benefit from watching it, there's a share button down below, you know what to do with it. There's also a comment section below as well. Little challenge for you. That's the stuff that I would take out for an overnighter at this time of the year. What would you do differently? What do you carry that I don't? What am I carrying that you don't, and why? Let me know what's different between our kits and why you think that might be, why you do something differently. If there's something there that I've talked about that's made you think differently, let me know in the comments below as well. And as always, for those of you that are subscribers, thank you so much. I've just hit overnight 1,300 subscribers, so thank you very much if you are one of them. If you're not yet one of them, why not help me move towards 1,400 subscribers by clicking the link in this corner of the screen here. You'll become a subscriber. If you click the little bell icon that appears, you'll also be notified instantly whenever I upload future videos. Whether you choose to be a subscriber or not, thank you for watching the video. I'll see you next time. Cheers.